As you step through the threshold, my son, the coordinates of your spirit are being written. Don't remember these earlier events. Don't recall these former events. Look, I am about to do something new. Now it begins to happen. Do you not recognize it? Yes, I will make a road in the wilderness and paths in the wastelands.
Day 5 since the fall. Day 5 since they cut my throat and hurled my body off the cliff like a piece of garbage. Father, I sit on this ridge, looking at your morning sun, forcing air through a scarred throat. I don't understand how you're operating in my life right now. I don't understand why my heart is still beating when Guile, my brother, my friend, was left to die in the dirt on that bloody hill. Waking up to this wreckage feels like absolute defeat. But there's a mystery haunting me out here in the quiet. Sebastian told me he only walked down to this freezing riverbank because he saw a lone white bird soaring in the sky. I kept wondering, was that your hand, Father? A token of deeper purpose? The trials ahead feel completely overwhelming, and my soul is buried in sorrow. I don't know if any of other of my Green Mane brothers survived the slaughter, or if I am truly a lone wolf, the last standing. But I cannot sit on this rock and wait to die. If that bird was a sign that you still have a purpose for me, I have to go find out the truth. I have to see if my men are still alive. The sorrow ends now. It's time to move. The moment my boots hit the shadows, the freezing water bit into my skin. But the desperation in my stomach bit harder. I was starving, weak, and furious. I spotted a fish and lunged at it with my bare hands, striking at the river with the same raw aggression I used to command on the battlefield. But the fish just slipped through my fingers. Instead of stopping, I threw myself directly into the deep current to force my way across, and my remaining strength completely evaporated. As the freezing water dragged me under and my chest burned, that suffocating panic of the cliff came rushing back. That total crash, where your body fails you and you realize you have absolutely no control. I was inches away from letting that dark take me again. But you wouldn't let me drown. You forced me back to the mud to show me that the old wrath of the battlefield cannot fix my broken life. When my boots hit the mud, I just stood there, shaking. I looked at the old fisherman sitting there so peacefully in the silence. He didn't offer me words, but the spirit of this place was working through his stillness, breaking down the last walls of my pride. Nobody is coming to hand me back my old life I lost. If I'm going to survive the wreckage of day 5, I have to stop fighting the reality of my trials and start learning from the quiet. He told me where to find a fishing rod. In my hands, it felt completely foreign. Not like a heavy sword meant to conquer, but a fragile piece of wood meant to bear weight. You demanded a currency I hadn't spent in lifetimes. Absolute stillness. My first attempts was a failure. The line snagged and snapped in a single second. A reminder that a fraction of impatience ruins the entire harvest. On the second cast, the tension hit. My old instinct screamed at me to pull, to force a victory. But the spirit of the river taught me your deeper law. You have to wait. You have to let the fish run. Let it fight against the line. And trust the bend of the rod to bear the burden. You don't defeat overwhelming trials by trying to overpower them. You defeat them by letting the struggle tire itself out against your patience. When the harvest finally broke the surface, it wasn't a victory of my strength. It was a victory of my surrender to your pace. My body finally had fuel, but more importantly, my spirit finally had a compass. My enemy cut my throat and threw me off the mountain to die. But they forgot to make sure I stayed down. It's time to climb back up. Before I left the riverbank, Sebastian gripped my shoulders. He told me that anyone who passes through the Hernan region must stop and look upon the beauty of Three Saints Falls. He spoke of it with a strange kind of reverence, like the water itself held a secret meant for weary travelers. My instincts took over. A commander doesn't walk the low floor of a valley where he can be easily concerned. I took the early mountain path, pushing up into the elevation to get my eyes on the world below. The air up here is thin and crisp, cutting through my scarred throat with every breath, but my stride remains unbroken. I didn't come up here just to admire the view. I came because the mountain is an altar, and I'm a man searching for an answer. The scrolls say Solomon is the supreme god of light dominating the southern regions of Pywel, establishing a faith built strictly on divine order rather than asking for miracles. The followers believe you must simply live in harmony with that order. They even formed an independent Harnan parish just to practice their faith, away from the weaponized politics of the mainstream cathedral. I can understand the desire to step away from corrupt institutions, but looking closely at this stone, looking past the local legends, I see a much deeper, older blueprint. At the peak of this stone stands a cross, a silent testament to the blood of Yeshua, anchoring the entire universe in righteousness. Beneath it, the sun and the moon stand in perfect balance. By placing it here, it seems as the ancients have left a message. When your old world is leveled, the Most High establishes a new order. He raises a new banner. 8 is the number of new beginnings. It is a symbol of a holy rebirth after total destruction. The local faith calls it a God of light, but my soul knows the true pattern of the Most High. Scriptures tells us that the Creator is pure light, and there is absolutely no darkness in Him. But I know His ways with men. He does not put everyone through the fire. Some are blessed to simply dwell in the light. But for His true servants, the ones called to carry the heaviest burden, the path always demands a season in the dark. He allowed Joseph to be thrown into the dungeon, Moses into the wilderness, even Yeshua to endure the grave before the glory of the resurrection. This darkness hasn't come upon me as a sign that the Father has abandoned me. It is proof that He is forging me. You cannot command in the light until you have proven your discipline in the dark. An ancient law of combat dictates that a warrior doesn't just carry a weapon, he takes on its spirit. The steel you hold eventually shapes the soul inside you. My entire life has been anchored by the sword of the wolf. It is a battle-scarred blade, heavy and well-worn by countless campaigns. While wolf walks a solitary path, it longs for a pack that completes it. Scattered as we are, a pack truly never disappears. Wielding that sword kept me fierce, but right now, its spirit is heavy with sorrow of my fallen comrades. Carrying pure, unrefined grief into darkness is a quick way to break a compromised body. So the Most High provided an alternative, the legendary gladius. It is a weapon forged for ancient warriors, mass-produced for a whole order, yet it remains remarkably sturdy and powerful to this day. As I stepped towards the roar of the water, I spotted a deliberate stack of rocks, piled high right at the edge of the path, a traveler's market. Sebastian was right. This path was meant to be found, but only by those who know how to look. It is an ancient signpost, pointing directly to the roaring curtain of the falls. I tried to cross the threshold on my own terms, just a casual walk through the turn, but the sheer weight of the falls rejected, throwing me back into the cold stone. It was a silent rebuke from the mountain. You cannot enter the deep places of the Father with a half-hearted stride. You cannot push past a wall of chaos using ordinary strength. To break a barrier of this absolute, you have to use precise discipline of a commander. The barrier crumbles, and I step into the sanctuary of the mountain. Before me lies massive deposits of raw silver ore, shimmering, cold like crystals, bleeding from the dark stone, a fortune waiting to be claimed. My practical mind checks my hands. I have no pickaxe, no heavy mining tools. A standard survivor would have looked at this wealth, sighed, and walked away empty-handed, waiting for a tool that might never come. But a commander adapts. I look down at the gladius blade resting in my hand, lighter, swifter, and forged with the disciplined iron of this holy people. I calculated the density of the crystals against the tempered edge of this steel. If the Father provided the blade, he provided the means. I didn't need a miner's tool when I carried the weapon of a saint. The steel strikes true, the cold like crystals shatter under the weight of the blow, filling my hands with raw silver ore. Legend has it that this mineral isn't just for trade. It is prized for forging tools and jewelry meant to ward off evil and push back the corrupt forces of the abyss. This isn't just a promise anymore. This is immediate, divine provision. The Most High didn't just give me hope on this mountain. He handed me the exact illumination I needed for the war ahead. I step back onto the ledge, leaving the hidden vault behind. But I do not walk away empty-handed. The weight of the silver is heavy in my pack, a physical manifestation of the Creator's alignment. My body was still healing, but the desperation on the ridge is entirely gone. I return to the marker stones, sheathe my blade, and close my eyes. The roar of the water was no longer a chaotic threat. It was the sound of the Creator's order, protecting my steps. The darkness of my past has been processed. My focus is restored, and I'm ready to live.
Greymane? Greymane? Lost in thought again? Why don't we go inside? It's not safe out here. I only just fished you out the river. You won't fully heal without proper rest.
I'm well enough, thanks to you. It's time I moved on.
Are you really sure you're well enough? You can stay as long as you like.
I'm fine, really.
I think you should stay a bit longer.
I'll be going now.
Very well. If you're heading into town, you should stop by the Hernand Tavern. News travels fast around here, so if there's any information to be found, you'll find it there.
You got and hired a free sword?
I'll take care of this. Look, I already paid you.
We're here for the interest.
What interest?
Hey, kid, come here. Just
If
pay
you
up
could
and there
just-
won't be any trouble.
Oi,
We're not asking, we're telling.
we'll beat the interest out of you. Or make your maps go up in flames. Your choice. What are you gawking at?
Don't you fucking know?
Today will be your last. I'll break you down. Let's finish him. Death can't come soon enough.
I'm fine. Thank you. It's not the first time those bastards have laid into me. Things had got so bad, I was ready to pack up and leave. But they got what was coming to them. All thanks to you.
Where are you headed then?
Truth is, I'm also headed to Hernand. Can I tag along? Let's set off. On foot, it won't take long to reach Hernand. But if you want to get to town quickly, we should ride there. You could ride with me, but I recently came across this wild horse. He won't let me ride him, but maybe he'll take a liking to you. What's that look for?
An animal knows the spirit of a leader before a man does. Sebastian sees a stubborn beast, but I see an unbroken will,
For Spa,
waiting
isn't
for
it?
the right hand to guide it. Mountain didn't just give me a mount, it gave me a companion for the road. I'll call you Shadow.
Hernand used to be one of the nicest places to live. Catch sight of something. Catch sight of something. Beautiful spot, isn't it? Catch sight of something. Beautiful spot, isn't it? But with those bandits about, you're always looking over your shoulder.
It's that bad.
It's worse than ever now. The guard's been stretched thin, and it's impossible to keep the peace. It's us ordinary folk who are paying the price. Now this here is one of my favourite spots. The view from the bridge is absolutely breathtaking. It'd be a shame to just hurry past. Let's take it slow. We deserve a little serenity every now and again. When I see it. That kind of skill will have people seeking you out, Greymane.
As we cleared the pass, my eyes caught a
Beautiful
strange
spot,
anomaly
isn't it?
resting near the stone. A sealed abyssal artifact. It was completely sealed by an unknown power, locked tight against the present moment. Yet when I extended my hand, I could feel a profound, sacred energy radiating from its core. It wasn't hostile. It was a dormant power, waiting for its time. The ancient text etched in its relic surface read, "Before the hourglass turned, bury 3 shadows in the night with the tip of your blade." The trial is sealed for now, but my mind is already calculating the blueprint. The artifact doesn't speak of physical monsters. These 3 shadows in the night are universal spirit, weights that every single one of us have to face when we are cast into the dark. It speaks of fear, the paralyzing terror that tells you that you are entirely alone. It speaks of doubt, the toxic whisper that makes you question the Creator's path. And it speaks of regret, the heavy, exhausting grief of the past. I cannot unlock this power today. I do not possess the spiritual alignment to break the seal just yet. But I secured the artifact and stored it safely in my pack. It is a seed for the future. I told Sebastian to double back to his cabin, secure the remaining charts, and prepare the horses. I needed to scout this fracture alone. A blind spot on the mountain trail is a death sentence. The path terminates at a massive opening cut into the root of the mountain. Shadows whisper cave. The air venting from the darkness is heavy, damp, and the smell of old iron and dried roots. After confronting the shadows of my past on the peak, a dark cave-in no longer slows my stride. An elite commander must possess the gift of discerning spirits. You have to look past the surface layout and see the true frequency of this room. This isn't just a cave room. It's a sanctuary of old corruption, a witch lair. Look at the center of the chamber. A tree that is designed by the Creator to reach the heavens, drawing light from the soil to bear fruit. But this is a dead tree, a lifeless husk, stripped bare, standing in the dark deep and propped up only by the artificial flickering heat of ritual candles. It is the enemy's ultimate counterfeit, simulating life where there is only rot. My eyes scan the stone markers scattered around the tree and the trail outside. The local peasants think they are just common monuments. They are blind. I look closer at the contours of the stone. They carry the distinct, agonizing shapes of men and women. They are frozen people, petrified remnants of travelers who listened to the whispers of this cave and were structurally trapped by the spirits. The iron cages swinging from the ceilings above are the physical proof. These dark entities don't just misguide you. They ensnare your soul until you turn into stone. I shifted through the richest research, and my eyes locked onto an alchemy formula. The Palmer Pill, a medicinal compound designed to get a broken warrior back on his feet and restore his health. The formula calls for natural herbs and pure water. The Creator made those herbs. He made the water. They are inherently clean, good creations. But look at the instructions. To activate them, you have to brew them in a witch's cauldron. It is the exact same pattern of destruction we see in the world below. Men are broken, bleeding from their battles, and looking for immediate relief. The Creator has provided natural methods for healing, but instead of seeking divine alignment, men take natural resources, alcohol, tobacco, weed, drugs, and they brew them inside the wrong cauldron. They use them the wrong way to cope, to escape, to numb the pain. They turn a natural creation into an occult crutch, drinking from the poison well just to get through the night. I didn't need the witch's cauldron to find my strength. I take the formula, the raw knowledge of the herb, but I reject the spirit attached to this cave. I pocket the parchment and march back out into the light. I'm taking my healing on my own terms, aligned with the true light. I stepped out into the daylight, leaving the toxic counterfeits of the Whispering Cave behind. But a commander never stops calculating the layout. A few hundred paces down the trail, my boots find the center of a mass. Ancient circular stone plates resting in the dirt. The moment the stone ignites beneath my feet, a low hum echoes through the valley, and the fog of war lifts entirely from my conscience. This area is officially cleared in my mind.
I'm no fighter, but I know strength when I see it. That kind of skill will have people seeking you out, Greymane.
I break back into daylight
Some
and
will
leave
need your
Sebastian.
help, like
We
me.
kick our mounts, leaving
But
3
others
saints
will
fall
just want
behind
to see
us.
how they measure up to
The
you.
period of isolation is officially over.
That's the only way a
The
fighter
survival
can test
phase
their
of 6
strength.
days has
Funny,
transitioned
isn't it?
into an active deployment. I wasn't just fleeing to Hernand anymore. I was hunting. We pushed our mounts down the slopes, leaving the dark rot of the Whispering Cave behind us. But before the trail drops into the valley floor, the mountain pass forces one final halt. Unlike the hidden shrine on the high bridge, this is an open altar, built directly on the edge of the chasm to face the elements. Resting on the stone is another sealed abyssal artifact, radiating a profound, dormant power. And resting right next to it is a heavy wooden shield, withered by decades of the mountain storms. Etched deep into the surface of the artifact is a vow left behind by ancient commanders who walked this path before me, the shield of the unchanging will. My mind instantly calculates the strategic truth locked within this abyssal artifact. An unchanging will is the absolute unbending resolve of a soul anchored into a righteous purpose, entirely unaffected by the shifting, violent currents of a broken world. Most men treat a shield as a final act of desperation. They crouch behind the wood, cowering their eyes, praying the heavier timber doesn't split under the weight of the blow. They treat faith like a passive hiding place to cower from the storm. But a true commander knows that a shield is built for the attack. When enemy charges like an overwhelming flood, you don't step back. You plant your feet. You meet that chaotic tide with crushing rain blow, driving the heavy wood edge straight down into their advance until their momentum is broken and they are brought to their knees. Faith isn't a defensive bunker. It is an aggressive wall. It is an unyielding willpower that dictates exactly where the chaos stops. We approach the open camp as the sun sets on day 6. This is where Sebastian drops me off, a familiar harbor where a mercenary can safely lay his head. But before I step into the clearing and say my goodbyes, my mind locks onto a larger strategic law. From this moment on, every 7 days, the march stops. 6 days of relentless deployment. 6 days of processing the past and gathering my tools. But the 7th day belongs to the Creator. Tomorrow is day 7. I will sheathe my steel, pause my journey, and recalculate. I will use this rest to realign my spirit, my body, and my mission with the Most High.
Ah, we're nearly there. That horse seems fond of you, Greymane. A horse would make traveling a lot easier. Hernand's bigger than you might think.
Got a story to share?